It is unseasonably cool here in Central Florida as we inch closer and closer to opening day. A lot of jackets and caps and sweatshirts out here today as opposed to suntan lotion, but the excitement's still in the air as the Atlanta Braves play host to the defending AL champions, the Detroit Tigers. It is great to be with you. Mike Morgan alongside former Atlanta Brave Brian Jordan. The excitement in the air for this season as we begin our coverage with the Atlanta Braves. I don't know if it's been this high in quite some time. That's not to say the Braves haven't been playing some good baseball. They have made it to the postseason 2 out of 3 years, averaging 92 wins this season. However, this year, with the addition of the Upton brothers, Brian, there's the feeling that the Braves might have the best outfield in baseball.
Well, Mike, no question in my mind, the Braves have the best outfield in baseball. Frank Wren has done a phenomenal job this offseason in bringing in B.J. Upton and his brother Justin Upton. You got 3 guys that have the potential to go 30 for 30. 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases, hit for power, and it's going to be a lot of fun watching these guys. You know, now if I'm a pitcher, I'm relaxing because not just can they hit, throw, but the defense behind these pitchers, it's going to be awesome.
Well, the offense certainly looking for a spike this year. The pitching hopes to maintain its prowess. That starting rotation looking awfully good, including the young left-hander, Mike Minor.
Well, after 2011 season with Mike Minor going up and down, majors, minors, last year, he is now locked into that starting rotation. He pitched with great confidence last year, 11 victories, and he's getting better. So it's going to be fun to watch him today, continue to gain command of that curveball, and just continue to get better.
Well, for more on the newest installment of Atlanta Braves baseball, let's send it down to the field and check in with the third member of our broadcasting team, Chris Domino.
Guys, I've never, ever seen a better bang for the buck unit than the Braves bullpen 2 seasons ago. I also believe Johnny Venters paid a price in 2012 for all of those appearances. He's going to get his chance on the mound today. If he reverts back to that form of 2 seasons ago, the Atlanta Braves play more 7-inning games than anybody in baseball, and that's a manager's dream.
And we will see Johnny Venters and Corey Guerin out of the bullpen today. The Braves getting ready to take on the Detroit Tigers, the defending AL champions, led by, of course, Miguel Cabrera. Now the newest addition, Torrey Hunter, the veteran outfielder as well. Braves and Tigers from Disney when we return. Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Mizuno, making superior sporting equipment honed through the finest craftsmanship, cutting-edge technology, and passion for the game since 1906. Mizuno, never settle. Beautiful Central Florida, although a little bit more chilly than we're accustomed to. Champion Stadium, host of the Atlanta Braves spring training now for the 16th consecutive year. The temperatures, this is a new one for us, in the 50s, 54 degrees, humidity 44%. Pretty good wind today at 13 miles per hour, something to keep an eye on as well. And again, expected to be cloudy for much of the way. Braves with some good competition today. The defending AL champs, the Detroit Tigers, led by that man, Jimmy Leyland, who's been a sensational manager not only with Detroit, but of course all those great years in Pittsburgh, a guy who knows a thing or two about playing the Braves in the postseason back when he was leading those Pirates teams led by Bonds, Bonilla, et cetera, et cetera. But once again, Detroit expected to be very good. They have a power-packed lineup. A lot of the regulars out of the lineup today. You won't see Miguel Cabrera, but you will see Austin Jackson starting things off in center field, followed up by Torrey Hunter, the designated hitter. Peralta will hit third. Avila, one of the top hitting catchers in the American League. Cobernis in right. Castellanos, a very highly rated prospect at the left. Tuiasa Sopo at first. Diaz at third. And Hernan Perez is the starting second baseman. And the lineup will be opposed by the left-hander Mike Minor, the former #1 draft pick of the Atlanta Braves back in 2009. He was the 7th overall pick, and it didn't take him long to move up the minor leagues and get his first taste of big league pitching, but then kept going back and forth. Down to AAA, up to Atlanta, down to AAA, up to Atlanta. That was almost the case again last season until he put on a tremendous performance in the second half of the season. And now he's got the consistency going along with the great stuff and talent that he's always possessed. Larry Hanover will be calling balls and strikes today. Jerry Lane at first, Jeff Nelson at second. Joe West is at third. Well, Brian, as you look at this team and you talk about the pitching, we know how good it is at the top with guys like Huddy and Chris Medlin. Mike Minor could be poised for a career year.
Oh, no doubt about it. Last year, I think he came into his own, like you said, in the second half of the season. You know, he got frustrated in 2011 going up and down, like you said. But last year against the Yankees, it was a make or break for him. And once he broke through there, all of a sudden he went out there and pitched every game with confidence, and he believed in himself, and that's why he was successful.
And Minor now looking to have a good spring heading into the start of 2013. Austin Jackson will start things off for the Tigers. A tremendous year last year for Detroit. Batted .300, some pop and speed, and plays a terrific center field. First pitch is over for a strike, and we're underway.
And that's exactly what he did a lot of last year, going strike one, getting ahead of hitters, and all of a sudden he had to hit his nasty pitch, which is a nasty changeup or a good curveball in the dirt.
Minor, the former Vanderbilt Commodore. So many great pitchers have come out of that program, including one David Price in Tampa. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. The wind right now gusting to left field as Jackson cuts and misses, and the first out of the game comes via the strikeout. Time now for the Mizuno Never Settle Keys to the Game, featuring Brian Jordan.
Well, I'll tell you, talk about Atlanta, Mike Minor is the guy. He is the key. He has to gain command of that curveball, and he will continue to get better. Offensively, you look at Dan UGGLA. He has to relax this year, take the pressure off, and go out there and just play. You got a lot of guys surrounding him that can get the job done. And you look at Detroit, Max Scherzer, he has to grab that #2 spot. We know about Verlander, the great #1, but if he can grab that #2 spot, pitch with confidence, this is a better Detroit team. And Torrey Hunter, bring his leadership skills to the clubhouse. If you remember, Dotel this offseason talked about Cabrera not stepping up and calling a meeting during the World Series. Well, that's not his role. Now you got a guy that is not afraid of that leadership role with Torrey Hunter. And I think this Detroit team, heck, they were close enough last year winning it. With that leadership and Victor Martinez getting healthy, they could win it this year.
Mizuno, superior sporting equipment since 1906. Mizuno never settle. The count moves to 3 balls and a strike on Torrey Hunter, now 37 years of age. And draws a 5-pitch walk. Defensively, the Braves, it's going to be a different look, of course, when Jason Heyward is actually in right field. Today he's the designated hitter, so it's Johnson in right, the Upton brothers in the left, and center Pena and UGGLA up the middle, Francisco and Freeman at the corners. Gattis draws the start at catcher. Of course, Brian McCann still coming back from injury. They hope to have him maybe mid-April. As this ball is a shot to left, and making the catch is Justin Upton. Again, we mentioned the wind extremely strong to left field. Might have played a little bit of a trick on him, but a nice adjustment by Upton.
Great adjustment by Upton. I mean, that's a line drive hit out the left field, and you know, with this wind today, it's blowing right to left, and he total concentration. He saw the ball in his mitt for the second out. Great catch. And that's what I'm talking about. The pitching staff for the Braves, if they make a mistake, this outfield has the potential to make up for it. So you should see these guys just go out there and relax this year and have fun.
Now Alex Avila, former Alabama catcher, who has emerged as one of the top hitting catchers in the American League.
Talked about the weather, man. I'm glad I had my hat and jacket when I came from Atlanta yesterday, because I definitely needed it on my way to the ballpark. So I can imagine what these guys are going through today, especially waking up and going outside. Everybody had sweatshirts on.
You came more prepared than I did, I can tell you that. That one catches the strike zone at the knees. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Avila. I was searching desperately for a sweatshirt purchase here at Champion Stadium.
Talked to Reed Johnson, and he was like, Brian, I didn't pack anything with a hood on it. He was regretting it this morning.
Good news is we've got a strong sun right now, which hopefully will continue to shine brightly throughout most of the day. Deuce is wild for Avila. Hunter at first. Minor checks him and then fires. Strike 3 called. Avila frozen, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on. We go to the bottom of the first, scoreless here in Central Florida. Morgan, Brian Jordan, great to be with you here on a Sunday afternoon. Tigers and Braves getting it cranked up. Our first telecast of the season. Braves about to bat, and a lineup card filled out by that man FREDI Gonzalez. What a job he did last year. All the injuries, all the turmoil, and yet they still won 94 games, got to the postseason. FREDI now in his 3rd year as the manager of Atlanta, following the legendary Bobby Cox. Starting lineup for the Braves, most of the regulars in there today. Jason Heyward actually the designated hitter, so Reed Johnson, a valuable pickup last year, will start things off and play in right. Heyward in the 2-hole, that's where he's starting to get cozy, and he'll bat there again in this ball game. Justin Upton, a lot of lineup flexibility with the Upton brothers. Justin will bat 3rd today. Freddie Freeman will clean up, followed by B.J. Upton, Dan Uggla at 2nd. Juan Francisco gets the start at 3rd. Evan Gattis, the catcher, and Ramiro Pena, the starting 2nd baseman. They'll be going up against Max Scherzer. Scherzer has always had incredibly nasty stuff, but he finally put it all together last year in a 16-win campaign, an earned run average of 3.74. Look at the strikeout numbers for Scherzer, 231 and 187 2/3 pitch. So needless to say, this is a good time to start working on your timing if you're a Braves batter.
No question about it, and that's what it's all about, spring training, working on your timing. But this is a good guy to face. He's going to come at you with that fastball, but he has a good changeup and a nasty slider.
Reed Johnson out of Riverside, California, takes the first pitch inside. This is a guy that really gives you, Brian, a whole lot of versatility.
No doubt about it. And he's enjoying himself down here in spring training. He loves the lineup.
Fly ball to right. Good carry, but angling back and making the grab is Coburnus for out number 1. Defensively for Detroit, the aforementioned Coburnus in right, Jackson in center, Castellanos in left, around the diamond, Diaz, Peralta, Perez, Tuias, Sopo, and AVILA.
Finish up what I was saying about Reed Johnson. He loves the opportunity he has to play behind these guys in the outfield. He knows Freddie's going to give him plenty of opportunity. And just watching him in batting practice, having fun with the guys, hitting his line drives while they go deep. He had fun with it.
Now Jason Heyward. What a terrific bounce back year for Jay Hay in 2012. The power, 27 home runs, the speed as well. Sky is the limit for this young man.
But more importantly, the maturity that he gained last year. You know, after having a bounce back season. A lot of people comparing him to Hanker in his rookie season. That's a lot of pressure to put on a young man. But last year, he really dealt with all that and put it all in perspective, and he had fun. And this is...
Hammers one to center. Wind might have knocked that down a bit as it hangs up long enough for Jackson to haul it in for out number 2.
You want to hit the ball to left field today. That wind is blowing from that right field, center field. Because I thought he hit that a long way.
So 2 up, 2 down. And now our first look at Justin Upton. Upton, the 25-year-old who came in that 7-player deal with Arizona, which of course sent Martin Prado packing to the Diamondbacks, but the Braves getting Upton and of course Chris Johnson, who we'll see later on this spring.
Frank Wren did a phenomenal job this offseason. I never would have thought they would bring Justin Upton to Atlanta, and he pulled that trade off, and it was, you know, people are sleeping on that trade with Chris Johnson. I really feel like Chris Johnson is a key guy in that trade.
Just foul to the left of the bag at third. You saw a moment ago some of the additions to the Braves this year. The Upton brothers. As you take another look, just foul over near third.
So you're talking about the trade and how many guys were in the trade.
Some good additions there with obviously the Upton brothers. And I think as we take a look at the 0-2, a lazy fly to left center. We'll hold that thought for inning number 2 as the Braves go down quietly in order in inning number 1. 1 complete from Disney. No score. Game tickets are on sale now. Don't miss exciting matchups this year Like opening day against the Phillies on April the 1st, July 4th, and more. Get tickets to see your 2013 Braves now by visiting Braves.com/tickets or calling 1-800-745-3000. Coburn is to start things off for Detroit here in the top of the second.
There again, Mike Minor starts out with that strike one on the outer half of the plate. Good fastball.
That'll reach the seats on the first base side. Mike Minor is a classic case last year of what some extra added confidence will do for a young man, because you talk to anybody in the Braves organization, even when he was struggling and going back and forth to the minors, everybody knew it was going to click. The light was going to come on. It just took a little while. But when it came on last year, how about the numbers in the second half, Brian? 7-4, a 2.21 earned run average in his final 15 starts.
I continue to talk about confidence, and that's what every player is looking to have, looking for that trust out of his organization, that they believe in him. And when he had the second half last year, we said it. I mean, that confidence of going out there, strike one, he had great command all of a sudden. He knew it was his job to lose, and he took advantage of it by working hard and making adjustments and being exactly what we thought he would be.
Johnson puts it away for out number one. Let's hear from Mike Minor what he has learned after last season.
Breaking ball, but if you throw that for strike one, they see spin, they might not want to swing. So you throw that get me over breaking ball, whether it's a slider, curve ball, change up, and then later on you want to throw the nasty one or the one that bounces or one's out of the zone. That's what pretty much I had to learn, was that you can throw both of them instead of rearing back and throwing a hard curve ball, hard slider every time. You can throw it early for a strike, and as long as they see spin, then most of the time, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to swing it.
So Mike Minor really attributing his success to fine-tuning the breaking ball.
Well, he knows that off-speed pitch, you definitely have to have it in your arsenal, should I say, because the last thing you want to do is be one of those pitchers that throw hard, hard, hard. You got to keep hitters off balance.
A liner laced to center, but right at B.J. Upton for out number two.
And you saw that at bat. He went strike one on the outer half of the plate, and then he threw that get me over into the dirt, you know, just to change the focus to the eye level of that hitter. And then he came right back with the fastball.
Matt Tuiasosopo, a name very common in football. Matt Tuiasosopo, the baseball player and first baseman for Detroit. 1-0 from Minor. In there for a strike. 92 miles per hour. You might recall Detroit last year scuffled a bit down the stretch of the regular season, then got into the postseason. Then swept the Yankees, no small feat. In the playoffs, made it to the World Series, then got swept by the Giants. 2 balls, nope. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count.
Sometimes, Mike, when you sweep a team, it's good. Sometimes it's bad. And during the playoffs, it's bad when you got a hot team on the other side going game 7 with all that momentum going in, and you're sitting and watching. And that really hurt, to me, Detroit. I thought Detroit had the better team last year, but to sit around in that cold weather of Detroit and wait for a winner in San Francisco, clearly with the pitching staff that they had, the key hits that they were getting in the playoffs, they carried that momentum right into the World Series. In Detroit, they just couldn't get hot. They couldn't find that one guy to get them over.
2-2 from Minor, fouled off at the plate. Yeah, it was an offense, a lineup that was just so lethal all year long, and then all of a sudden, you got to give San Francisco pitching obviously credit. They shut them down in the World Series. And Jim Leyland will just have to wait for another opportunity. He's been there twice with the Tigers, both times falling. 2-2, another foul ball.
But if you ask any manager, you know, in getting to the World Series, the last thing you want to do is wait. Try to play simulated games. It's just not the same, and especially when you're talking about cold weather. No player likes to play in cold weather anyway, but to sit around and wait And then the San Francisco team who just has a lot of talent. You know, outside of Buster Posey, who's the stars on that team? They don't have a lot of stars, but they know how to play the game. Bruce Bochy, great manager. Wow, he nibbled and nibbled and nibbled himself into another championship.
Ninth pitch of the at-bat is a good one for Mike Minor, a strikeout. He's racked up 3 of them. We go to the bottom of the second inning, still scoreless from Disney. Bottom of the second about to get underway. No score between the Braves and the Tigers. CSS brings the woo with Braves spring training Tuesday, March the 5th. We'll be out in Tampa as the Braves take on the New York Yankees live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Go to css-sports.com for the full schedule of Braves spring training games here on CSS. Freddie Freeman to start things off for the home half of the second.
Well, if I'm Freddie Freeman this year, I'm licking my chops, Mike, with all that speed in front of me, all that power.
Here's some power here to right. Can it get through that wind? No is the answer as it's caught on the warning track.
Wow.
To left field, that might be a tape measure shot, but not to right.
Not today. He connected. Good fastball right down the middle and showing his aggressiveness. Freddie Freeman.
See those flags gusting. For the most part, the flag has been starched to left. All 4 outs for the Braves have been recorded in the air to the outfield. B.J. Upton in the batter's box. B.J. Upton, last year a career-high 28 home runs. And he reminded everybody he's still got the speed, too. Another 30 stolen base year, 31 to be exact. A little pop-up. Perez coming on and handles it for out number 2. The pitcher they're going up against right now, Max Scherzer, he might only last another inning or so. Everybody knows how good Justin Verlander is, how hard he throws. Max Scherzer's average velocity on his fastball last year, 94.2 miles per hour, the same as Verlander. So you're looking at another flamethrower at the front of that rotation.
Power pitcher. And to me, that's what you need in the World Series. You look at the world champions from years past, they had a lot of power pitchers in that lineup, and that's exactly what Verlander and, you know, we talked about the keys to the game. Max Scherzer grabbing that number 2 spot. That's I hate to face these guys back to back.
Well, here's a power hitter in Dan UGGLA. Fouls that one back. UGGLA has an interesting year for Dan UGGLA. He had a career-high 94 walks. That was the 3rd most in the major leagues, but every other number down. The 220 batting average, the 19 home runs, 78 RBIs. You expect to see more out of Dan UGGLA, and you hope to see more out of UGGLA this year.
Well, this year, Dan Uggla has no pressure at all when you look at this lineup as he strikes out. And a good slider thrown to him.
Max Scherzer makes quick work of the Braves in the second. At the end of 2, we are still scoreless. For left-hander Mike Minor of the Braves, already with 3 strikeouts. First to the leadoff man, Austin Jackson, then of Avila, the catcher, and then Tuiasa Sopo, as he has retired 6 of the first 7 batters that he's faced, the only base runner coming via a walk.
And I like about those strikeouts is 3 different pitches. First pitch was a changeup down low, and then he came back with a curveball to strike out Avila. And then Matt, and I'm not even going to say his name, Mike,
Sopo
strikes out on a fastball. The flying Hawaiian.
It's fun to say once you get the hang of it. Don't need to buy a vowel with that name. Diaz, 2 balls and a strike. Again, Diaz not a regular, as you might note from that high number 70. This ball hit hard to center, but it will hang up for Upton, who flags it down for out number 1. Well, you can take advantage of the 33% discount on concessions when you purchase a 2013 Braves season ticket package. Packages start at just 20 games, so get one today and start saving all season long. Go to Braves.com/season tickets or call 404-577-9100 for details. Mike Morgan, Brian Jordan with you. We are in the top of the 3rd on a somewhat chilly day here in Central Florida, particularly for March. Another great crowd. This is easily one of the best venues in all of spring training. The moment I start to take that for granted, we'll do a road game from time to time somewhere else, and no knock on the other parks, but I really like this one a lot, the friendly confines.
No, this is a great park. I really enjoyed myself playing with the Atlanta Braves down here in spring training.
And there's the first hit of the ball game, served down the right field line by Perez, as Johnson scoops it up, a 1-out single.
To me, no better place to have spring training than Disney. Cannot complain about that. And the fans are here. Lakeland is just up the road, so you got a lot of Detroit and Braves fans here.
Pitch missing inside as we're back to the top of the order for the Tigers, and Austin Jackson, a strikeout victim, his first time up. They play Jackson straight up and straight away as Minor fires. Fly ball to right. Johnson has a beat on it and puts it away for out number 2. Now, the Braves last year, I think, Brian, a lot of people would be stumped by this trivia question. who led the National League in fielding percentage? It was the Atlanta Braves.
It was. I mean, this infield played phenomenal last year. You know, Dan UGGLA at second base improved tremendously. And we can't say enough about Simmons and Freeman. We know about those guys. And Chipper played excellent last year at third base. So I'm not surprised by that stat at all.
There's a guy who I think is going to start racking up some gold gloves here pretty soon, Freddie Freeman.
Oh, no doubt.
Swing and a miss and a healthy cut. Last year, LaRoche won it, the gold glove at first. 2 years ago, it was Joey Votto. And I think as Freddie Freeman's reputation continues to get more fanfare, he'll get more votes. A little pop-up. And a nice play by Pena playing shortstop. Grabbing that one in short left center for out number 3. No, Minor does surrender a single, but that is all. We go to the bottom of the third inning, still no score. We are scoreless midway through the third, and we are ready to check in with Chris Domino.
Guys, this is the way that Mike Minor handled the last 2 months of last season. Get ahead, attack. And he realized you don't just have to attack with a fastball. Up here, as a matter of fact, that doesn't behoove you. Setting guys up, as he said, with spin not only gets them in each individual at bat, but sets it up for the rest of the game. And quite honestly, now he's thinking like a big leaguer, Brian. He says guys start to store it away, and I get a little bit more of an arsenal to play with the next time we face them.
That's exactly right, Chris. Great job. But that's the way pitchers do. I mean, first time around, they want to show you stuff, and they want to save their good stuff for later in the game. And that's the Greg Maddoxes. That's the Tom Glavines. They get the job done with so many different spins on the ball, going in and out on hitters. And Mike Minor has finally figured it out.
Got a new pitcher for Detroit. That is Doug Fister. So long to Max Scherzer. We won't miss you. Max Scherzer looked awfully good. Francisco, Gattis, and Pena, the bottom third of the lineup, due up for Atlanta here in the third. Juan Francisco. There's the potential for a platoon at third base between Francisco and Johnson. But some people believe, and Ryan, you and I had a chance to talk about this quite a bit leading up to this game, that Johnson could actually win this job all outright, because the fact of the matter is Francisco's really struggled against lefties.
Well, and he's not used to playing every day. He's like you said, had the problems against lefties, and Chris Johnson is a guy that used to be the franchise of Houston Astros as far as prospects. And, you know, between Arizona and Houston last year, had 76 RBIs, 17 home runs, and he's used to playing every day. I mean, I know if Freddie had his, you know, I would say his wish list, he would love to just play one guy every day. But right now in the situation, you can't discount for Francisco. He's done a tremendous job last year when he got the opportunity to play third base for Chipper. He's shown us that he can hit for power, and he had some big hits last year for the Braves.
He had 9 home runs and 192 at bats. As he swings and splinters the bat on a 3-1 pitch, and it'll drop down for a base hit. Francisco trying to turn it into 2. Francisco on the slide, and he's in there safely. First hit for Atlanta, a leadoff double.
You think Francisco knows it's a competition? You know, being aggressive there, that's a good start to this inning. Double. Hit it off the end of the bat, but he was running right out of the box.
And now we see Evan Gattis, who is easily one of the best stories of camp here for the Braves. And I know every team out there in spring training has a good story. It's hard to top the one of Evan Gattis, who was completely out of baseball for 4 years. He battled drug and alcohol abuse problems. He worked as a janitor to just kind of make ends meet. Finally got a shot with the Braves. He's been just crushing the baseball in the minor leagues. Played very well in winter ball in Venezuela, earning a rather clever nickname. More on that in a moment. But Brian, this guy has just got unbelievable power.
He's a strong kid, and last year he hit 18 home runs within 3 organizations for the Braves last year. And they really like this guy. I mean, you look at his home run numbers, his power numbers. He doesn't strike out a lot. He puts the ball in play. And that's something that the Braves like about him. And he's one of those Paul Bunyan type guys that, you know, his stance, he just goes in there and says, throw the ball to me. You know, it's just nothing unique about his stance. He's in a low stance. He holds that bat up there, and he just takes his hacks. I mean, you see him. He's just nice and low and put the ball in play.
On 3 hops to shortstop. And a throw across by Peralta for the out. Francisco stays at second. Now, CSS has your complete coverage of the SEC every Wednesday, starting with SEC tonight at 6:30 p.m. and wrapping up SEC games around the South on SEC Hoops Weekly. Plus live games presented by Regions Bank this Wednesday. Auburn plays host to Tennessee at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. 1 on, 1 out for Ramiro Pena, the switch hitter and the former New York Yankee.
Didn't play a lot in the Yankees organization as far as in the majors. He had 4 at-bats, 1 hit. But FREDI Gonzalez likes this guy. He talks about a utility guy that can play everywhere and has a good glove defensively. And as you can see, he can swing the bat.
And the wind will help give that one a ride all the way to the wall. Coasting home is Francisco. An RBI double for Pena. And the Braves strike first. It's 1-0.
So he finished my statement for me with that line drive double in the cap. Not only can he play good defense, but he can swing the bat. It was a good pitch, low and away, and went right with it. With a runner in scoring position, that's getting the job done. And he's a guy that's going to be leaving here and going to Mexico and playing in the WBC.
Yeah, the World Baseball Classic has certainly had an impact on teams throughout spring training. If you're wondering why Andrelton Simmons is not in the lineup, he had to leave. He's playing for the Netherlands. Had a good first game. I believe he was 3 for 5 against Korea.
Scored a couple runs, and that's good to see. But you cross your fingers if you're in the Braves organization with all these guys, really. These guys go out and play hard, but not get an injury.
Throw to second, and it hits Francisco right between the numbers.
Now, Mike, I'm angry right there.
I am very angry. Pena, of course.
I am very angry if I'm Pena on second base.
Ouch.
Because Fister has better control than that. After lining an RBI double, you want to get some get back, and that's what Fister did right there.
Well, Pena's got some good muscles back there to protect the back. 1-0 is popped up a mile high behind second. Jackson waits on it and puts it away. Well, the Braves opening week, April 1st through the 7th. Catch matchups against the Phillies and the Cubs. Go to Braves.com for more information on how to pick up tickets. Don't forget Georgia Lottery's Friday night fireworks show. Jason Hayward. Hayward popped up, or flied out to center his first time up.
Oh, that's a nasty changeup by Pfister there.
I mentioned last year for Hayward, 27 home runs, 21 stolen bases. I was a little bit surprised at this, Brian. He was the first Brave to go 20-20 since Andrew Jones in 2000.
Wow. Well, I'm not surprised.
I figured somebody in there in the last 12, 13 years. Chipper Jones,
Andrew Jones,
somebody?
yeah, no. Chipper kind of slowed down in those years, but yeah, Andrew was probably the last guy to really threaten anybody with a 30-30. Wow.
Another splinter bat right toward the mound. Pfister gets out of the way. Perez makes the play, and the side is retired. But not before. Ramiro Pena drives in the first run of the game, scoring Juan Francisco as we move to the fourth. It's Atlanta 1 and Detroit nothing. As we take a look at that last out, the pitch to Jason Hayward, watch the bat shatter here.
I mean, Pfister, man, that's the scary part of these wood bats. I mean, when they splinter, when they break in half, you're just scared it won't stick in a pitcher's chest somewhere. As you saw it almost take out Doug Pfister.
Now we have a new pitcher for Atlanta, and as we mentioned earlier today, we were going to get a chance to see that man, Johnny Venters, the left-hander who was so dominating in 2010, 2011, an off year last season. This is a big one for Johnny Venters, who when he is on can be unhittable with that power sinker from the left-hand side. And what a great compliment he is to O'Flaherty and, of course, Craig Kimbrell.
No doubt about it. I mean, if he can get that heavy sinker working this year, it's going to be a great year for him. We saw how dominant he can be, and last year was a frustrating season for him. But, you know, I'm picking him to really bounce back and have a great season.
Pretty good stat line for Mike Minor, who worked 3 innings, allowed just 1 hit, struck out 3, and, of course, no runs as the Braves begin the fourth with a 1-0 lead, and Venters throws one outside to Peralta. Two balls, no strikes to Venters. Remember, there was actually some talk a couple of years ago whether or not Johnny Venters should be the closer. That's how good his stuff was. Gets hit here, though. And as that one finds a hole on the left side of the infield, a leadoff single for Peralta.
Well, yeah, I remember that time when Kimbrell kind of struggled early in the season, and a lot of fans and all was talking about Venters because he was so dominant from the left side with that heavy sinker. But good decision by the Braves not to make that move, because it's turned out great for Kimbrell.
Yeah, pretty much all Craig Kimbrell has turned out to be is the best closer in Major League Baseball.
That's right.
Avila steps into the batter's box. Each team with 2 hits now, a 1-0 Braves lead. As Venters throws it over for strike 1 at 91 miles per hour.
Yeah, I see if Venters with a man on first base. I mean, he was phenomenal the 1 year, getting that ground ball when he needed it, double plays. See if he can get it here. Keep that ball down in the zone.
That was nasty right there.
Oh, my.
And completely pulling off the pitch was Avila.
Avila, he doesn't look too comfortable in that box facing Venters.
Comes back with a fastball low. When you start sizing up the National League East, and no question the 2 teams that everybody is looking out for, Atlanta and Washington, the bullpens for both those teams, unbelievable. Keep in mind, Washington adding Soriano this year. They already have guys like Tyler Clippard. And they've got a pretty deep bullpen in our nation's capital as well.
And I'm surprised Soriano left New York. I'm surprised they let him get away.
Looked like he went around. He did. And that's all she wrote for Avila. First strikeout for Venters.
Pretty good slider here, running away from Avila. He had no chances of hitting that ball.
We've got news on a substitution for Atlanta. Let's check in with Chris.
Well, guys, listen, I know players love Godmother and country as much as anybody else, but if I was Ramiro Pena and his agent and his people, I would have said no to playing for Mexico in a World Baseball Classic. He had a chance with Simmons being gone and really make this team. He's not going to make it playing for Mexico.
And, of course, he's left the game to catch a flight. Pastor Nicky is now in the game at shortstop as Coburnis catches the pop-up.
Well, we talked about the WBC really affecting a lot of lineups in spring training. And as we see and heard Chris say, Pena on his way to Mexico to play in this WBC. And I agree. I mean, you got a great opportunity to make the ball club and show your stuff. And, you know, for a guy like him, yes, you want to represent your country. So you're caught in the middle here. But, you know, it's the chances that you take. And, you know, Pena, you saw he can drive the ball. We know he's a good utility guy. But you need at bats in spring training. You have to show your manager and organization what you can do. And now he can't do that. So it's going to be interesting how it turns out. I mean, great opportunity for Pastor Nicky to show his stuff as a utility guy and a good hitter. We already know he can hit. Big question marks for Pastor Nicky is, can he play defense consistently?
Bouncer to third. Francisco to UGGLA. And that will retire the side. So Venters does a nice job settling down after surrendering the leadoff single to Peralta. We're midway through the 4th. It's Atlanta 1. Braves enjoying a 1-0 lead here in Lake Buena Vista, Florida. Atlanta Braves season tickets start at just 20 games for as low as $191 and get 33% off food and beverages all season long. Get yours today at Braves.com/season tickets or by calling 404-577-9100. Great to have you along. Mike Morgan, Brian Jordan here at Champion Stadium, the facility that the Braves have been playing at in spring training now for 16 years. Justin Upton will start things off for the Bravos here in the home half of the fourth. Upton flied out to left his first time up.
Doug Fister, one of those guys in the rotation for Detroit. That's a nasty sinker also.
Swing and a high fly ball yanked in foul territory and out of play into the bullpen.
Got away with one right there. Hanging curveball. Justin's eyes lit up on that pitch.
Well, last year you look at the runs leaders in the National League. Justin Upton was second. Ryan Braun leading the way with 108. And some people in Arizona would tell you it was really an off year for Upton because in 2011, check out the numbers on Justin: 289, 31 homers, 88 RBIs, and 21 stolen bases. And that kind of set the bar so high where people thought he would keep improving. Again, he's only 25. But maybe 2013 becomes the new career year for Justin Upton. Not this at bat as he goes down frozen at the plate. One up, one down. Well, the Braves offering 5 game packs. Great way to see your Atlanta Braves this season. Select any 5 games of your choice and enjoy savings of up to $4 off the gate price on each ticket. Get a 5 game plan today by going to Braves.com/5game or calling 404-577-9100. Freddie Freeman in the batter's box for the second time today. The lefty flied out to right his first time up.
Without that wind and blowing from right field, I think he would have had a home run last at bat. I mean, he hit that ball pretty solid. But the wind held it up. Just a simple fly ball. Talked to Freddie early on the field, and he's excited about this season. He's worked really hard this offseason. When the trades were made this offseason, he said his eyes just lit up with the potential that he has to drive in a lot of runs this year.
Well, when you look at Freddie Freeman, he avoided a sophomore slump last year. All he did was drive in 94 runs and hit 23 home runs as the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. What he did do last year, Ryan, is he hit 259. And I think we'd all agree that he's a better hitter than that.
No question. I mean, we watched this kid in AAA for a full season. He's a guy that can hit consistently 300, I think, through his career.
Right. Maybe has the prettiest swing on the team. Goes well to all fields.
But you look back at last year, he battled some injuries.
Skies one to center, keeps carrying some more, and it's over the head of Jackson. Freeman digging for 3, and he'll be there standing up.
Freddie puts another good swing. This ball is up in the zone, and he had one of those from the bottom to the top swings, and this, wow, if you're the manager of Detroit, Jimmy Leyland, there, you're holding your breath to see Austin jump up and fall on his back there, but that ball just kept carrying. Wind, we talked about it, is tricky for an outfielder. You got to get back and work your way in, but obviously Austin thought he was at the wall, and he really had a little more room. You don't see that often. Freddie Freeman dropping a triple on you.
Upton fouls one off near the Braves dugout. We told you the wind would be a factor. Gusting to left field. It's been doing that most of the day, and that play tricks a little bit on Jackson. Freeman might have sent that one over the fence in center had it not been for that wind.
All I know is Freddie's going to be talking about how fast he is with that triple.
If you pick up the box score in tomorrow's paper, nobody will talk about the wind. They'll just say Freddie Freeman triple.
Triple.
Freeman not afraid to brag about his speed. He was 2 for 2 in stolen bases last year, 1,000%.
Wow. It's a good opportunity for BJ to drive in the run. Man on third, 1 out. Put the ball in play. You see the defense of Detroit moving in, defending against that run.
Swing and a drive. Way back there and out of here. A tape measure shot off the bat of Upton. Freeman will score ahead of him, and Atlanta now leads it 3-0. No wind needed on that one.
No doubt about it. And earlier, Justin, his brother, just missed the curveball, and Fister throws the same curveball to BJ, and BJ hits it a long way. 2-run bomb. Got a curveball up in the zone, and that's exactly what you're supposed to do with it. We're going to see a lot of that this year, Mike.
Braves will certainly be among the league leaders in 3 categories: home runs, stolen bases, and strikeouts. But if you hit a lot of homers and score a lot of runs, you can live with the strikeouts. That's been the mentality of Fredi Gonzalez and Frank Wren when assembling some of this talent. Braves struck out a lot last year, but now they'll do so with probably more runs on the board as UGGLA rolls one to short. UGGLA 0 for 2. And the inning's still alive for Francisco. You know, as far as that home run went for B.J. Upton, Justin Upton hit one out about a week and a half ago that carried all the way up that berm and near the parking lot. They estimated Justin's shot at about 450 feet.
Tell you what, I'm still trying to figure out how Frank Wren pulled that trade off this offseason. Man, he continues to amaze me.
Well, Frank has had to be very creative with his dealings. Can't just go out and make rash moves, and he's done that without mortgaging the farm system as well. You still have some very good young pitchers that have not been dealt away. Of course, Julio Teheran leads the discussion, and I can't wait for us to get our first look, Brian, at J.R. Graham. He's an exciting young pitcher. 2-0 to Francisco. That's a fair ball. That'll take a ride down to the corner, and Francisco will dig for 2 and be there easily. Now the Braves getting to Doug Fister here in the 4th.
And I tell you, this Francisco is competing, and he knows it. And he is not missing his pitch. He doubled last inning, and now he comes up with a double down the right field line. Good hustle. I like it, Mike.
What's not to like about this inning so far?
I like the way Francisco's being aggressive.
Yeah.
You know, we knew he was an aggressive hitter and strikes out a lot, but looks like he is seeing the ball well this early in spring training.
Evan Gattis now in the batter's box, who earned a very interesting nickname while belting home runs in Venezuela this year in the Winter League. El Oso Blanco is what his teammates called him, and that stands for, and translated in English, the white bear. And he's built like a bear.
And he is big as a bear. I grabbed his arm during batting practice and said, man, what are you doing? He's chopping down some trees. That's some George Foreman strength there. As Big George used to chop down trees as a way of exercise.
I thought we all did that. I got a few hacks into the local forest before today's game, Brian. I don't know about you.
Did you?
Yeah. Just wanted to break the sweat.
It's a good workout, chopping down trees.
You see those Popeye forearms. Gattis goes about 6'4". He is put together. The question for him will be, where does he fit at the major league level? He's playing catcher today. He's played some outfield, some first base. Didn't mean to. Served foul to the right side.
That's one of those 2 strikes I got to protect swings, and that ball was clearly up in the zone, but he was already committed.
Gattis, a Braves organization all-star in 2011 and 2012.
It's a good story, too. Talk about the drug problems and all, alcohol problems. To be able to bounce back and work hard to try to live out his dreams is just a really, really good story.
One hopper to third. Gattis is retired, and so are the Braves, but not before a big 2-run inning, including the bomb. Upton, B.J. Upton, goes yard. Braves up 3-0. Braves on top of the Tigers by a score of 3-0. If you want to keep up with the sports your favorite SEC school plays, you'll have to watch a lot of shows, or you can just watch one. SEC Tonight, the most in-depth coverage of your favorite SEC teams and sports. SEC Tonight, weeknights at 6:30, only on CSS. The new pitcher for the Braves is Corey Guerin. Corey Guerin, the side armor, last year solid in 22 major league appearances, a 1.80 earned run average. Here's a guy that's, again, been kind of shuttled back and forth between AAA Gwinnett and Atlanta. And Brian has been very effective at both spots.
He has been, and I know it's frustrating for Corey because he knows he can have success at the major league level. He's done it. He's shown it. But it's just not that, it wasn't that spot for him in last year. So now, hopefully, with the impressive spring training, I know Frank Wren and FREDI Gonzalez knows he can get it done. But, you know, it's still a log jam in that bullpen. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can emerge as that guy.
Tuiasa, Sopo, Diaz, and Perez, bottom third of the lineup, due up for the Tigers. We're in the top of the fifth. Braves leading at 3-0 on 5 hits, including a 2-run bomb by B.J. Upton. Tigers coming into this game 4-5 in the spring. Atlanta 3-6. One ball, one strike, the count. sure Braves fans wouldn't mind seeing the Tigers again, say, in the month of October. Detroit, one of the favorites in the American League, and the Braves expected to make another run this year in the National League.
This is going to be an interesting season for the Braves. You look at the Nationals. You know the Phillies are going to bounce back. That pitching staff, they're healthy this year. So this East is going to be a tough one. Probably one of the best divisions in the league.
That to me is the wild card, Brian, is Philadelphia. I can't get a read on the Phillies because on one hand they're old and they're often injured. On the other hand, if they can somehow stay healthy with that pitching and guys like Howard and Utley, Howard and Utley, they have a chance to be a lethal team. You can't just write them off yet.
No, you can't write them off. But I watched the game the other day with the, matter of fact, yesterday with Ron Howard. He hit a home run off of Toronto's pitch with the Mets. R.A. Dickey, yeah. And just watching him run around the bases, it seems like that Achilles is still bothering him. And I'm afraid that, you know, if he's not healthy from that yet, you know, you got to be worried about him getting an injury again this year. You know, that was their nemesis last year. All the guys getting injured. Utley was out pretty much the whole season. Ron Howard was out just about the whole season. But those guys are back in spring training. And you just never know.
Aaron strikes out to Wayasa Sopo, and we'll check in with Chris Domino, who's standing by with Mike Minor.
Mike, obviously you get your work in. That's the big part of it. But you and I talked at the beginning of spring training. You don't have to attack with just a fastball up at this level. As a matter of fact, setting guys up inside a singular at bat and setting them up for the rest of the game really does come into play.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does. But right now, I think most of the guys are working on their fastball location, arm strength, and getting everything worked out. You know, we occasionally threw some breaking balls in there just to see how they were. But last outing, I threw more fastballs, and then we'll progressively throw more and more breaking balls and try to work hitters. But like I said, they're just trying to. Sorry, we're just trying to work with our stuff right now.
In the last 2 months of last season, you know, people talk about getting it together, whatever that means for a pitcher. But you say maturity really has played a big part of it, and knowing what it is the job is day in and day out, and what the work is in between starts now.
Yeah, it's just it's a part of the process of getting that experience and getting out there and throwing against guys and you know when you think I used to think I was in trouble a lot of times to get a runner on first or a leadoff double or something like that. And you kind of learn from those experiences that you can work out of that and you can work out of the jam and those situations. As long as you put a 0 on the board, it doesn't matter.
And the last thing, you talked about spin when we had a chance to talk, putting a little more, letting guys see some of that stuff and really just letting them at times get themselves out.
Yeah. You know, we try to work on the get me overs and then later on burying it. You know, see how they react to the pitches and what's your because you've only thrown bullpens and against live hitters that you're telling them what's coming. So now you get to throw those same pitches and see what kind of reactions you get out of the hitters and see what kind of break and spin you got.
Well, we appreciate you stopping by. I know as the work gets along, a little bit more extension, a few more pitches, a few more innings thrown. Mike Minor certainly, guys, seems to be in a place he wanted to be this early in spring training.
Chris, Mike, thank you much. Mike Minor, impressive today. Not allowing a run, striking out 3, and overall good command of his pitches.
Maturity. That's the key, and he has definitely matured as we've watched him over the last couple of years. He is in command of his stuff, and he's learning how to pitch the hitters.
Meanwhile, Diaz coaxes a walk from Guerin. 1 on, 1 out. 9th man on the order, Perez, due up for the Tigers. Of course, the other starting pitcher that the Braves will be waiting on, Brandon Beachy, coming off Tommy John surgery. How good was he in 2012? When you think of what Beachy did, what Chris Medlin did, I mean, these are two guys that, for the most part, Brian, were under the radar in terms of being consistent major league starters, and then they come through and they put together all-star-like numbers.
Oh, it's exciting, just to hear Brandon Beachy's name, and we know how great he was and before that surgery, and we know how good this starting rotation can be once Brandon gets back. I mean, we already know it's good with Tayron. I think Julio Tayron will have that confidence this year that he needed last year, and that maturity coming in the spring. I talked to him in the clubhouse, and he seems like he's ready now. He's in his moment, and he's really going to take advantage of it. But to have Brandon Beachy right in the wings waiting to come back, and we've seen Medlin come back from that surgery and perform so well. Nasty curveball by Corey Guerin. I mean, Guerin had no chance of hitting that ball.
We've seen Guerin do this for years. He induces at least one of these kind of swings per outing. Watch this.
Wow. I mean, that ball is not even close to the plate at all, even when it starts out of Corey's hand. But I couldn't hit those guys anyway, so I feel Perez's pain there. It's just nasty coming out of the arm, that side arm, coming from down low. You have to be patient.
Well, that strikeout pitch looked like something you'd see in a wiffle ball game.
When you walk away as a hitter scratching your head, it's like embarrassing how far that ball broke.
Well, don't forget, CSS is your ticket to great college baseball games around the South. It all starts Friday, March the 15th at 7:30 p.m. in an SEC clash. Kentucky visiting the Florida Gators. Then March 16th, see LSU at Mississippi State at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Chopper up the middle. Pasternicki over to UGGLA for out number 3. We are halfway home. It's Atlanta 3 and Detroit nothing. Braves fans, the 2013 season is just around the corner, and it is time to get your tickets for opening week. Come see your Braves take on the Phillies and the Cubs April the 1st through 7th. Tickets going fast, so visit Braves.com/tickets or call 1-800-745-3000 right now. Bruce Rondon, the new pitcher for the Tigers, who are hoping that he can be part of the answer for the bullpen this year.
Well, they have a closer spot wide open, and they're hoping that he is the man, Rondon, to come in and do the job. Valverde is now gone, and Rondon is in that spot now, and they're excited about this kid.
Pasternicki will get the first crack at him. Pasternicki now in the lineup, batting 9th in place of Romero Pena. So Pasternicki, followed by Johnson and Hayward.
Tower really fighting for that utility job. know the Braves love his speed. They know he can hit. The big question mark with Tyler is, can he play defense and be consistent at multiple positions? He can play the outfield. And the more you can do, Mike, I think your opportunities, your options are better. And he's that guy. He can do it. He just has to show FREDI Gonzalez that he can play defense consistently, make plays. You know, we talked about it when we saw him down at the AAA level, having that strong arm at shortstop. And that's why they moved him over to second base. But if he's going to make this team, he's going to have to be able to play everywhere.
Lofting this one to deep left center. In that jet stream, carrying and gone. Wynn got a hold of it, helped take it for a ride over the 385 side in left center field. Second home run of the game for Atlanta, and the Braves extend the lead.
And Mike, this is exactly what Chris Domino said. Pena getting on the plane to go to Mexico. Now Tyler jumps in. He gets an opportunity, and first at bat, home run. We know he can hit. I just said that, and he showed us. He backed me up with my statement.
He did.
I like it.
Well, I think for Pasternicki, the thing that impressed me about Tyler Pasternicki last year, Brian, is that he starts off with the big club. A lot of pressure, as you can imagine. And then eventually he gets sent down. And you and I, as this one is fisted near first and just out of the reach of Tuiasa Sopo near one of our camera wells. He's sent down. Of course, you see the players' reaction in Gwinnett. They're all patting him on the back like, hey, keep your head up, keep your head up. And we did an interview with him, and that young man couldn't have been more graceful under the circumstances, and that just impressed me a lot. I came away with a very high opinion of Tyler Pasternicki after that.
And that's what you like so much about Tyler. You know, he has a great attitude. He could have went down and moped, complained, but he didn't. He continued to work hard, and that's why he's getting this opportunity. Last year, he got the opportunity at the end of the season to come back up and help the Braves, and he did just that. So you like to see guys like that succeed, and hopefully they'll continue to play well and get another opportunity.
Leadoff man Reed Johnson in the box with a 2-ball and 1-strike count. Rondon, the hard-throwing righty, cuts it loose. In for a strike at 96. Braves up 4-0, thanks in large part to 2 homers. A 2-run blast by Upton in the 4th, a solo shot by Pasternicki in the 5th.
To fight that curveball off. Breeze coming through and blowing my papers all over the place.
It's definitely a paperweight day in the booth. Two tapped. Rondon collects it and fires to first in time.
That's a good play by Rondon. That's a tough play. Ball bounced up that high, and then you're trying to play it on the bounce. I've seen a lot of pitchers make the mistake of overrunning that ball. He stayed back on it. Then nice strike over to first base.
PFP.
That's right.
That's part of spring training. That's what nearly cost the Tigers. A big reason why the Tigers lost the World Series back in '06 against St. Louis. Remember all the errors they had?
That's right. Couldn't throw the ball to third base.
No. Every time a pitcher got it, it was an impending disaster. Hayward in the box. Looks at ball 1. Jay Hay flied out to center in the first, grounded out to second in the 3rd inning.
It's a good matchup. Good fastball pitching with Doan.
Blew that one by him at 97. The book on Rondon, he can throw some gas now, but control will be the question as to whether or not he can be a quality big league closer. He'll light up the radar gun. That's not the question mark. The 1-1. You know, we talked about the Braves defensively last year. Very quietly, Jason Heyward won his first Gold Glove.
That's right. And well deserved. Had a lot of assists last year. Saw the strong arm from right field. And I think the thing I like about J-Hay, he's not afraid to go get it. You know, a lot of outfielders don't want to throw their body around. But Jason's not afraid to do that, and that's why he earned that Gold Glove.
Well, he knows if he doesn't go after it, you'll call him on it.
I've been known to call some outfielders out.
He doesn't want to feel the wrath of Brian Jordan. Coaxes a walk here. Another base runner for the Braves. The Braves have had a base runner in every inning since the third. Justin Upton looking to collect his first hit of the day. He has flied out to left and struck out.
If I'm a pitcher playing against the Braves now, you look at the lineup. There's no holes. There's no guy that you can kind of let up on. You got to bear down every batter in the lineup outside of the pitcher.
It's the deepest that we've seen. And it's not just the fact that there aren't easy outs, but the fact that there's so much pop in this lineup. This one scorched to center and over the head of Jackson. One run will score easily. That's Heyward flying around third, and parking at second is Upton, and the Braves now on top 5-0.
I mean, Justin Upton just rips this fastball on a line over the center fielder's head, and he had no chances of catching that ball. Didn't play it off the wall well, but excellent swing by Justin Upton. And J-Hay kid knew that ball was over the center fielder's head. He didn't stop running, and he scores easily.
It's actually Coburn is now in center for Detroit, as the substitutions will be fast and furious here the rest of the way. Atlanta now 2 of 5 with runners in scoring position in this game. Freeman, hot shot to second on the backhand, and a nice play by Perez.
Perez is getting it done with runners in scoring position. That's what we'd love to see. I know Freddie's going to love to see that. 2 for 6. Detroit 0 for 0. That's a good sign. That means you have nobody in scoring position.
Yeah, they have not had a runner reach second yet today. Mike Minor very strong, followed by Venters and Guerin so far out of the bullpen for Atlanta.
98-mile-an-hour fastball by BJ.
Swings at that one in the dirt.
Not sure if that was a split or a nasty slider. The ball just dropped. Look at this pitch. Oof. Slider just straight down in the dirt. When you throw 98, 99, as a hitter, you know you got to gear up and get ready. It's hard to kind of pull back on that pitch.
That one nearly got by the catcher.
AVILA did a great job of just getting a glove on that.
AVILA, an all-star back in 2011.
And just to get a glove on this ball, I mean, that's that slider breaking away. And he's throwing that slider pretty hard, so great job by AVILA.
Fisted foul by Upton.
Good swing by BJ, 98-mile-an-hour fastball. His timing is not far off for that 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Just misses it. It's underneath.
Two balls, two strikes, two outs. BJ trying to drive in his brother Justin over there at third.
Talking with BJ earlier today, Mike, I didn't realize he was that small. He has to weigh about 165. He has a small frame, but he possesses a lot of power in that small frame. I was talking to Justin, and Justin said, I'm 40 pounds heavier than BJ. I'm like, wow. Did you steal all the meals at home?
Guess we know who got seconds.
That's right. But he possesses a lot of power in that body.
BJ, the older brother by about 3 years. Now the payoff. Swing and a miss, strike three. 96 and right on by. But for the third consecutive inning, the Braves put a run on the board. Two, in fact. It all got started with a solo blast by Tyler Pasternicki at the end of 5. It's the Atlanta Braves 5, the Detroit Tigers nothing. The news is all good thus far from Disney, with the Braves leading the Tigers 5-0. Beginning March the 20th, you can tune in every Wednesday for SEC Baseball Weekly, your home for the most complete coverage of SEC college baseball in the South. Get the latest SEC baseball news, highlights, and interviews with the biggest coaches and brightest stars. Matt Stewart, Rusty Enzer do a great job on that program. We have a lot of fans across the Southeast, not only Braves fans, but SEC fans as well. Let's check in with Chris Tomino, who's got Freddie Freeman standing by.
Listen, some guys have it and some guys don't.
I was just jogging on that triple. I was. You know, I just coasted in there. You know, stand up. Oops.
Let me ask you a question. How old were you the last time you actually had a stand-up triple?
I don't even think I ever had one of those before.
Okay, well, good. Then I'm glad we were here to mark it historically. We'll send you a copy of the tape. Your biggest problem is Juan Francisco goes back-to-back doubles on a day that you hit a triple. The home runs I can throw away. But Juan Francisco went back-to-back on doubles.
One was the left field, too. That was pretty impressive. A little broken bat, a little flare, and then a double down the right field line. He's got the whole field going today.
He's got you beat 4 bases to 3.
BJ does, too.
Yeah, you're right about that. So let me ask something real quick. The idea of coming down to spring training, what is it you want to work on in the very beginning? You guys got down here a little bit earlier than usual because of the World Baseball Classic.
Spring training is you just get down here and get your repetitions in. We got here a little bit earlier because we got a kind of a new group of guys. You know, it's almost a whole new lineup out there this year. So, you know, a lot of us got down early just to get to know each other and, you know, get the repetitions in and get to know each other and how they're going to play on the field and just know what they can do out there.
You're in a real strange situation hitting cleanup. You got a guy in front of you that's never hit in front of you. You got a guy behind you who's never hit behind you, so there is some work to be done.
Well, I mean, I think they're going to get to know me very, very fast of how many first pitches I swing at. So it's BJ got to get out on deck a little quicker than normal because I'm going up there hacking. I'm not going to let that first pitch go by.
And real quick, you standing on third, you know, you made it easier for BJ. You knew he was going to get cheese.
Yeah, you know, I knew he was going to hit a fly ball, and so I was just trying to get in the sac fly for zone. So I was I just hit the ball and I was just like I coasted and I just tried to get the third for him to get an easy sac fly, and he took both of us home with his home run.
We'll continue with Freddie Freeman in a second. Let's throw it back up to Mike and Brian.
All right, Chris, Anthony Varvaro is the new pitcher and strikes out the first batter he faces, and a entirely new outfielder right now for Atlanta. Jordan Schaefer in left, Todd Cunningham in center, and Turdoslavich is now your right fielder. Chris?
The thing, too, now you have a new third baseman. You kind of got used to Chipper Jones, and obviously we all agree, they talked about it in the booth earlier, you're going to be a Gold Glove first baseman, but the idea that you have to work a little bit now, you might have 2 guys who are throwing it over to you at some point during the year.
Yeah, you know, I'm getting used to Chris over there, and then, you know, I played with Juan a little bit. He filled in as he was catching a ground ball and throwing this guy out real quick. So
nice play by
yeah. And, you know, I played with Juan a little bit last year when he played third when Chipper was off, and then I'm getting used to Chris, and, you know, Chris is a very slick fielder over there, so it's with those 2 guys, I think we're going to be just fine over there, offensively and defensively.
In the beginning of spring training, we talked, you thought you gave away, unfortunately, like a week at a time. When it got bad, I mean, the strikeouts started to pile up, and you know that's the way that if you avoid that this year, your RBI numbers, your on-base percentage, everything goes up for you.
Definitely. I think it's just the biggest thing is just to stay healthy. I had some weird injuries last year, and, you know, obviously, for some reason when I go bad, it's just strikeouts just pile up for me. But, you know, that's the main goal this year is to try and put the ball more in play, and good things will happen.
Well, Freddie, we appreciate your time. I know everything that's going to get done this spring training, everybody's really pretty excited about what it's going to be. I'm glad Braves fans have an opportunity to see the offense today.
Thanks, guys.
A quick 1-2-3 inning for Varvaro. The Braves leading it 5-0. Home half of the 6th coming up. Braves on top of the Tigers 5-0. Don't forget to bring your group to Turner Field this season for an event you won't forget. Group ticket discounts start with just 20 people and can save you up to $10 off the gate price. So start planning your group outing today by visiting Braves.com/groups or calling 404-577-9100. Alongside former Brave Brian Jordan, I'm Mike Morgan. Glad to have you along. The news has been good thus far for the Braves. A new pitcher now will oppose them. It'll be Dwayne Below. You see the numbers on Below last season in 27 appearances, a 2-1 record, an earned run average of just under 4. And Dan Uggla will start things off at the plate, followed by Francisco and Gattis. Uggla looking for his first hit of the day, 0 for 2. Lofting this one. High and deep to left field. Back, and gone. Third home run of the day for the Bravos.
Why not?
Sure.
Join in the hitting parade. Man. Not a good first pitch for Dwayne Below. Welcome to the game. Starts out with a curveball, and Uggla took advantage of that pitch up in the zone. Oh, look at him.
Geez.
He lost the beer.
Talk about going all out.
Wow.
Below's first pitch goes above the fence and left.
Man, way to end the day for Uggla. Probably his last at bat.
Now Francisco working on a 2 for 2 day. Couple of doubles. Juan made his major league debut in 2009 with the Cincinnati Reds.
Another good pickup by Frank Wren at the end of spring training last year.
Breaking ball for a strike. Well, the biggest question mark you have coming into his season is which of the two guys are going to get the most at bats in the 8-hole. I think most teams would gladly have that as your biggest concern. Lazy fly hangs up there for Cobernis. I mean, you think about it, 1 through 7 is dynamite. You don't have to worry about much other than you might want to eventually settle on a lineup, a batting order that you feel like maybe is more consistent than it was in years past, but the rotation is pretty much settled. The bullpen, you know what that's looking like. I mean, if we're only talking about third base and who's going to be maybe the 5th outfielder, Brian.
That's it. That's a good problem to have going into spring training.
Liner right at the center fielder for out number 2. Don't forget, coming up later on, we'll be joined by Georgia All-American linebacker Jarvis Jones, who actually threw out the ceremonial first pitch today. He's getting ready for the NFL draft. Tyler Pastornicki. Holborn at his only at bat today. Came into the game for Ramiro Pena, who started at shortstop. 6-0 Atlanta.
Tyler's in the battle for that utility spot.
High fly, left center. Playable and flagged down on the track by Cobernis. If you hit it in the air to left today, you got a good chance of sending it a long distance. That looked routine off the bat. It went about 380 feet. The Braves get another run on the board. A Dan Uggla solo shot as we head to the 7th. Braves 6, Tigers nothing.
As we welcome you into our humble home here at Champion Stadium, Mike Morgan, Brian Jordan. The man in the middle, I know SEC football fans know very well, Jarvis Jones, the All-American linebacker, threw out the first pitch, enjoying the game. How are you, Jarvis?
Doing great, man. I'm excited to be here.
Well,
my first game.
We're certainly glad to have you. Are you a big baseball fan?
I am. I'm a big Braves fan. You know, I grew up watching the Braves and the Georgia Bulldogs, so I'm just excited to be here, man. It's a great game. We winning, and everything's going right.
Well, I hope they show you throw, man, your first pitch, man. That was a little weak, man. I thought you were going to throw a little harder fastball in there or something, man.
Yeah, I was down in the dugout. Everybody was telling me, man, don't throw it over his head. Don't throw it in the dirt. So
you got nervous on me?
I kind of did.
We're going to show the pitch.
We're gonna break down the form here of one Jarvis Jones in a moment as Coburnis skies it to right center. And the out is recorded. Here's Jarvis Jones. Break it down.
Come on, Jarvis. Break down this pitch.
I told the Doug give me some motivation, and my boy Alex back there. So I didn't want to put too much heat on it, man. But it fell in there. I think it was a strike.
Oh my goodness.
Well, Jarvis, let's talk some football. I know we got a lot of SEC fans who are also Braves fans, and your season last year was incredible. Not only from a team standpoint, but obviously individually. The NFL draft is the next step. You know, again, you hear some questions rising up about the same thing that you dealt with at Southern Cal. Help me understand this, because I watched you play a lot of games. I didn't see you hurt at all. I saw you one of the most dominating players in the SEC and in college football. So what is the latest there?
Man, I went to the combine. My main, I didn't work out at the combine, and everybody questioned that. But my main focus was going there and, you know, checking out medically. And I did everything that doctors wanted me to, asked me for. And, you know, I left there. I was happy. You know, they told me that I was good. Dr. Brigham, one of the best spine specialists, you know, he checked me out, and everybody said that I was fine. So, I mean, that rumor there that I'm not healthy, or, you know, I do have a mild thing of spine stenosis, but the doctor think I can play with it. And then if you check half of the athletes, I think over half of them have it. So.
Right. Well, you're down here in Orlando working out, training, getting ready. What are the things you're working on, getting ready for Pro Day?
I mean, just being a football player, period. You know, football first. You know, bettering my technique, staying in shape, you know, getting bigger, faster, and stronger with Coach Shaw, speed guy. But, you know, there's a lot of NFL players that come here and train with Coach Shaw. So, I mean, you get to go against those guys, learn from those guys. They have a lot of knowledge, you know. Just teaching us as coming in as rookies and, you know, preparing for camp and just different situations. So, you know, Ike Taylor, one of the guys that down here. So I really look up to him and all the knowledge that he has for me. So I'm trying to learn everything I can at the same time, you know, better in my craft.
Aaron Westlake taking advantage of that wind that's been gusting the left all day long, and finally it helps the Tigers. A solo shot to left, first run of the day for Detroit. We're not going to hold that against you, Jarvis, that they scored their first run when you were in the booth, but nevertheless. Now we'll let Brian break down the homer as opposed to your pitch.
Well, it looked like it was a fastball, and Westlake did a great job going with the pitch. On the outer half of the plate, he stayed down on it, and that's a line drive over Jordan Schaefer's head.
Jarvis, what about Georgia moving forward? I know, of course, you're going to leave great memories behind and bigger and better things in the future for you in the National Football League, but spring football underway and Georgia expected to have another top 10 season. How do you forecast 2013?
Man, I think they got a great group of guys. You know, I think our coaches did a great job of, you know, bringing in some great recruits and guys that's going to step up to be great leaders. You know, we got Aaron there, Malcolm Mitchell, Damian Swan.
And it looks like on this last pitch there, like a breaking ball, but it did get him in the head. That's Argenis Diaz.
That's pretty scary. Whenever you get hit in the head, I don't care if it's a curveball, fastball, it's going to hurt. The thing that you fear is concussion. So if you're Jim Leyland and the Detroit Tigers, you don't want to take a chance. You know, I'm quite sure Diaz probably comes out of the game here. As he does.
A good sign that he's up. He has to have his wits about him, and hopefully he'll be okay the rest of the way. And you see Diaz, and that looks like taking his place will be
Eugenio Suarez, number 77, will be over there at first. But I'm sorry, Jarvis, you were saying about Georgia next year. Aaron Murray coming back. Obviously, the expectations will be very high.
It's very high. I think we got a great group of guys. You know, our coaches do a great job, you know, preparing us and getting us ready for games. So, you know, I think our offense this year be the leaders, but our defense, they're growing and they're gonna do what Coach Grantham asked them, and the rest of the staff asked them to do. And that's gonna go out there and play hard and give everything you got. So I can't wait to get back up there and see the guys. I know they're working hard. Coach Joe T got them in the weight room, doing mat drills and all that stuff. So I know it's excited for them.
How excited are you for draft day? It's coming up, and what are you going to be doing on draft day? Do you even know, what spot you potentially will go in? I mean, what is your agent saying?
I mean, they got me projected pretty high. For me, I just got to continue, working on my craft and staying focused, and let everything fall where it's going to fall. I'm just so excited about the situation, man. I've been blessed, man, and I just want to take full advantage of my opportunity when that time comes.
Are you worried for pro day? I mean, do you have to run a certain time in your mind?
I'm not worried, man. I'm a football player. That's all I do, man. Them times, they look good, but I mean, once you get on that field, man, it's a whole nother level. So I play fast. I'm a relentless player. I'm passionate about this game, and I'm dedicated. So, man, I'm a football player.
All right. I like it.
Well, Jarvis, we certainly appreciate you taking out some time. I know you want to enjoy the rest of the game. And, again, best of luck. I know there's a ton of people out there pulling for you. It was great watching you play this year. You were certainly one of the most exciting players in college football.
I appreciate it, man. Thank y'all for having me.
Congratulations, man.
Yes,
and good luck, man.
All day, man. Go Dogs, man.
Go Dogs. I hear you.
Dogs. Jarvis Jones.
And Perez takes a walk. Man on first and second. And Juan looks like he's struggling a little bit out there on the mound. After hitting Diaz in the head, it looks like he's having a command problem.
Hit hard, but flagged down and right by Turdosovich. The Tigers do get on the board with the homer. Time to stand up and stretch. It's the Braves 6 and the Tigers 1 from Disney. Six to 1, and here is how we got to this point in the first inning. Mike Minor, one of his 3 strikeouts. Mike Minor very sharp, not allowing a run in this ball game, and then it would be Pena driving one into the gap. Driving in a run to make it 1-0. That was Francisco. Later on in the 4th inning, B.J. Upton launches one to left center field. How about Tyler Pasternicki coming into the game? His first at bat. He sends one over the fence into left center field. And then Dan UGGLA sees a curveball and knows exactly what to do with it, banging one out of the left field berm as the Braves have put together plenty of yard work this Sunday and are out to a 6-1 lead as we get ready for the bottom of the 7th inning. A chilly day here in Central Florida. The temperatures in the 50s, if you can believe it. But the Braves bats have been hot all afternoon long. 6 runs on 8 hits and 3 home runs as we say hello again to Chris, who's standing by with Evan Gattis.
Yeah, I do have Evan Gattis here. And Evan, let me ask, coming into this spring training a little bit different. People probably knew who you were, not just your story, but who you were and your opportunity to perhaps be a part of this thing.
Yeah, it's been a little different this year. You can kind of get a better feel for what to expect and everything. Last year was my first invite to spring training, and it's just been going well. You
loved winter ball, but you also believe it helped you as well. You loved the environment, and you also believe there was substantial benefits from playing.
Definitely the environment. I think the environment in winter ball is definitely good preparation for what I can imagine the big leagues to be. The fans are crazy. It's very intense games, and people are really wanting you to win. So it's been fun. It's been a really good experience.
You know, one of the other things that we had a chance to talk about a little bit earlier, a couple of weeks back, is you got a catcher's mitt, you got a left fielder's glove. Might as well find out if there's a spot for you. Take as many swings as you can.
Might as well.
Yeah, FREDI Gonzalez told me real quick that he doesn't, you're a typical see it, hit it. Lefties, righties, it doesn't really much matter to you.
Yeah, I was surprised in winter that I did better against righties. Of course, I've faced a lot more righties than lefties, and the year before I hit a lot better against lefties. So, I mean, in winter ball, you play a lot of match play, and you're not going to see too many left-handers, especially late in games. And so, yeah, it's been good.
All right, guys, we'll finish up with this. You were talking about the fifth outfielder spot, Mike. You got a guy, I just said, he's got a left fielder's glove. The Braves haven't really carried three catchers very often, but you do have interleague games coming up as well. I think this guy can hit himself and play himself onto a roster, break with camp, and then actually find himself being a part of the Atlanta Braves sooner instead of later.
Well, that's certainly the plan, Chris. In terms of Evan Gattis, he would love nothing more than the opportunity to show what he can do against major league pitching. And if you ask Evan Gattis, he'll play wherever you want him to, just as long as he can make the club.
No question about it. But, I mean, I know he had to have a great experience over in Venezuela as far as the intensity and the loud fans and being able to play in that environment definitely has to help him, as a player, and that's maturity level too. I mean, it's phenomenal playing over in Venezuela, and if you're able to handle that and perform well, shouldn't be nothing this year for him.
Right. Well, we talked about that third base battle. Here's one of the guys in it. Chris Johnson hits it over to second. The toss to short for one, and the relay to first in time. First twin killing of the game.
Hit it hard, but right to the second baseman, Perez, who made it look pretty easy. Double play.
Well, now our first look, offensively anyway, at Jordan Schaefer. Jordan Schaefer's been an interesting story. He's a young man who was drafted by the Braves back in 2005, third-round pick. Had that tremendous opening series of the year in Philadelphia where he's hitting home runs. That almost might have been fool's gold, because really, Brian, what Jordan Schaefer needs to do to be a big leaguer is not hit home runs, but get on base more.
Get on base, use his speed. And, a lot of guys can't say they have that type of speed, but Jordan can. But when you hit a home run early, you think you're a home run hitter, it can get you in trouble. And that's exactly what has happened to Jordan Schaefer with the Braves, and last year with the Houston Astros. I thought this kid would come into his own as you see him hit a flare single into left field. But I thought he was going to be the new center fielder for the Astros. Right. And when he got released, I was like, wow. It has to be something more that's holding him back. And you see a swing here. This is using his hands well, getting them in and battling that pitch off, fighting it off into a base hit to left field. Now he's on first base, and that's when he uses his weapons, his legs. He can steal second and third and be in scoring position for you. But it's about maturity also, and that's something that he's still going through. He had his problems with the Atlanta Braves, and to get released by the Astros, who is a struggling team, is surprising. So the Braves picked him up at no cost, giving him another opportunity.
Speaking of an opportunity, the guy that just fouled that pitch into the seats, Ernesto Mejia. And we saw this guy for a full season last year with the Gwinnett Braves in AAA. He was by far and away the most consistent hitter on the team, one of the best in all the International League, and he has been rewarded. He's now actually on the 40-man roster, so Ernesto Mejia's got a good shot to get some playing time this year.
Well, he has to play well in spring training, and if not with the Braves, somewhere else, because we know he has the potential to be a pretty good power hitting first baseman. He has to continue to work on his defense, but he's a mature player. He handles the bat well. And like you said, he's one of the most consistent players we've seen since Freddie Freeman at Gwinnett. So he has the potential to be a big leaguer. But with Freddie Freeman, you know, this is a tough place for him to play in Atlanta.
Mejia singles. That's what he does. Gets on base. And a nice sign here. Schaefer and Mejia with back-to-back singles as the Braves' seventh continues.
I mean, him not trying to do too much, a ball away, and he ended up pulling this ball. Drops in for a single.
You know, going back to Schaefer for a moment, one thing about Jordan Schaefer, and again, we've seen this both at the big league level and at times in the minor league level with Jordan. There was some immaturity there, and apparently, you know, Jordan has come along quite a ways. So I thought it was a big sign when the Braves took him back, because I don't think that would have happened if he had the same makeup maybe 2-3 years ago. But there's been a lot of maturation in his game, a little bit different, I guess you would say, on-field demeanor, and that can only help his cause.
Well, that's what the Braves are hoping for, that maturation period. And they hope he's learned a lot, and with this next chance that he'll develop. He still has that great potential. There's no question about it. And I think Frank knows that and wants to give him that opportunity. I don't know where he's going to break into this outfield if everybody's healthy. But he will give you options off the bench, you know, late in the game with speed. And again, you can't teach speed. Either you have it or you don't. And those guys are rare at any level.
You see the numbers on Todd Cunningham last year with Double-A Mississippi. He's an athletic outfielder that they believe could be a future center fielder. Bounced weakly to short, and the Tigers will go the short route. Route number 3. A rather quiet bottom of the 7th. We head to the 8th. Atlanta's still in the lead. Pitcher. Braves on top of the Tigers by a score of 6-1 as we're getting ready for the top of the 8th inning. If you want to find out what Southern College team CSS is covering next, all you got to do is check out the website, css-sports.com, for our latest schedules, updated videos, original programming information, and more. Go behind the scenes of CSS with css-sports.com. New pitcher for the Braves, Gus Schlosser. I say that one 3 times real fast without committing an FCC violation.
A lot of new changes.
Yeah, we're getting to the point where our detailed information on the players becomes a little bit less and less.
Luis Dela Cruz at catch. catching now for the Braves.
We had some gems of material on that starting lineup, and the second string and the third. And you start getting the Gus Schlosser. We just go with whatever we got. Boy, now you're not only getting autograph seekers, but people wanting to take photos of you in the booth. I'm very impressed, Ryan. Kurt Casserly is the batter for Detroit, a catcher by trade. The high numbers continue. When the numbers start resembling an NFL wide receiver, you know you are in the later stages of an early spring training game. 81 opposing number 82. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. 81 on the mound and 82 in the batter's box. 2-2 pitch. Lofted near the line, giving chase, and it bounces in foul ground. If you're joining us late, good news for the Braves. Mike Minor, very sharp. Venters and Guerin out of the bullpen, the same. Offensively, 3 home runs. B.J. Upton with a big 2-run bomb in the 4th inning. Tyler Pasternicky homered, and Dan UGGLA homered as well. So Atlanta playing well in this Sunday affair against the defending AL champ Detroit Tigers.
You can't leave out my man Freddie Freeman with the triple.
Yeah, a speed triple.
A speed triple, as he would call it. In Francisco, two doubles.
Strike 3 called. A less than emphatic call by Larry Vanover. And the first out of the inning for Schlosser.
And just a nasty sinker running back across the outside corner of the plate. That's a tough pitch to swing. But it's getting late in the game. You got 2 strikes. You better be up there to hack. Larry Vanover saying he wants to get out of here.
Reminder, we'll be back with you on Tuesday from Tampa. The Braves and the Yankees will be with you at night, 7 o'clock Eastern time.
Good looking slider there, getting past Machado, Dixon Machado.
All kinds of defensive changes for Atlanta. De La Cruz the catcher, Mejia at first, DeWitt at second, Pasternicky at short, Leonard at third. The outfield we already mentioned. Schaefer, Cunningham, and Turdoslavich. And incidentally, Chris Johnson is the designated hitter. So basically, the team you were watching an hour ago has completely been made over. Another strikeout. But don't forget, Braves opening day on Monday, April the 1st against the Philadelphia Phillies. You can arrive early for the special pregame ceremony. Tickets going fast. Go to Braves.com/tickets or call 1-800-745-3000. Opening day a little bit earlier this season. Remember, last year was about April the 5th or so. So we're getting a head start on the season. I don't think anybody has any complaints about that. Slow roller to short. And the play is made by Pasternicky for out number 3. Midway through the 8th. Braves in the lead, 6-1 our score from Disney. Well, the Braves playing long ball today. Upton, Pastor Nicky, and Dan UGGLA. 2 of the 3 no-doubters, all 3 clearing that fence and left, which has been aided a bit by a strong wind today. Again, temperatures in the 50s. A chilly day in Central Florida. Fredi Gonzalez more than happy to see his squad hitting home runs, but Fredi quick to point out this season with all the speed, they won't have to rely on the long ball.
We don't have to beat you with the long ball. We could beat you with stealing bases, and we could beat you running the bases, which are 2 different things. Getting yourself positioned to score runs, challenging the outfield, doing that kind of stuff. We were second in the major leagues last year, according to some of the publications. According to the publication, the Bill James Handbook, we moved up 20-some spots. And the 3 guys in the outfield are all in the pluses. And then we have a couple of guys in the infield that are also pluses. But it's a team thing, and I'm really excited about that.
Well, when you think about it, Brian, obviously everybody loves home runs, but they're not always going to come. And sometimes you have to be able to score some runs, particularly in a day and age where stolen bases are making a comeback.
Well, especially with this Braves organization. We're so used to watching the previous Braves that won all the pennants just sit back and wait for the long ball, and that was a good team to do it. But now, you have speed in this game, and Fredi Gonzalez is very excited about it. I'm excited about it because now, it takes pressure off the pitchers in this Braves organization, really, because you get guys that can get in scoring position and allow this team to score a lot of runs this year. Not to wait around for that 1 or 2 run game. Now you'll see more 4, 5, 6 run games for the Atlanta Braves. Just out of being aggressive on the base paths. And not a lot of teams around the league fortunate to have speed, but the Braves are.
You see now with fewer and fewer home runs as you take a look at Blake DeWitt, the former Dodger. Teams now are stealing a lot more bases. They're more aggressive than ever. You can't rely on a bunch of home runs. We're in a different era in baseball, to say the least. The Braves obviously have a number of guys that can steal this year as DeWitt gets smoked on that pitch on the inside part. I think a rule that
DeWitt had nowhere to go on this one. Really trying to hold up the swing, and the ball just ran back in on him. Just hope that didn't hurt that much, and he'll be back out there.
Here's Joe Leonard. Well, I was going to say, Brian, I think there's a rule out there. It's not getting a whole lot of pub yet. But if you talk to people around the game, they feel like it'll help base runners. You no longer can pull off the old bluff throw to third and then first. And I was listening to Harold Reynolds break this down the other day on the MLB network. If you're a runner in that situation at first base and you're going on first move, that's a huge advantage to know that the pitcher can no longer do that.
Well, it is. I got picked off one time with the third to first. I think Chipper and myself, the only 2 guys that ever got picked off in Atlanta Braves history on the third to first move, which I hate. And I feel like it delays the game. So I'm happy to see them do away with that third to first for the pitchers.
Bouncer to third. Tough hop. Strong throw. Wow. Great recovery. I didn't think there was a chance.
That was great recovery. Man, outstanding play.
Suarez made this one dramatic.
I mean, it's an in-between hop. It's a tough play, but to be able to stop it, plop it up in the air, and then concentrate and make a good throw over the first base. And really, that was all arm. He didn't even have the body behind that throw. Played by Suarez.
De La Cruz digs in from the Dominican Republic. One more thought on that. Now, hopefully, extinct play of the bluff throw to third and then first. I've never met a fan that says, When I go to the ballpark today, I hope I see a pitcher pull off that fake throw to third and fake throw to first. I don't think anybody will miss it.
No, and it'll definitely speed up the game.
I've actually heard some former umpires say, why don't we just get rid of the bluff throw altogether out of baseball?
I don't think you can do that.
No?
No. Because, I mean, it works good at a guy on second base getting a big lead. You just step off to let them know that you're thinking about them. You don't necessarily have to throw the ball every time.
When you look at the Braves starting lineup, what will be the starting lineup, you think of guys that have the potential to steal 20, if not more. Upton, Hayward,
Simmons.
Yeah, Andrelton Simmons, and you know, we haven't talked a whole lot about him, of course, because he's now playing for the World Baseball Classic. But Andrelton Simmons, if he can do what he did last year, remember he hit 289. It's not as if he struggled at the plate.
See De La Cruz with a walk.
Not only did Simmons hit 289, but he rarely struck out. He'll get that first crack in all likelihood at the leadoff spot.
Well, it's not he's going to get a crack at it. He's going to be the leadoff man. I think Freddie announced that before the season. They think he's capable of getting the job done, and I believe that. I think he can. And he's going to be a guy that can lead off and hit home runs too. I think he's going to possess a lot of power.
Off the chest, the recovery not in time. Everybody's safe. And for the first time today, the Braves have the bases loaded.
This ball just took a funky hop there at the end. Good hustle by De La Cruz. De La Cruz, if he doesn't run hard, still make the play there at second, but because he ran hard, the bases loaded, 1 out.
Joey Turdoslavich has had a good spring in his last 7 at-bats. He has singled 7 times, including 1 for 1 today. He made a big jump last year up to AAA and got humbled a bit. He got demoted back down to AA. You see the numbers when he was in Mississippi. And it looks like, Brian, the idea or the thought of Turdoslavich as a third baseman has fallen by the wayside.
Yeah, I think, trying to learn a new position at third base just didn't work out for him. And I think it really affected his hitting because he was concentrating so much on his defense, his hitting kind of got away from him. Now they're putting him in a comfortable position in the outfield, and you'll see this guy hit more. He's more relaxed. I mean, he looks great up there. Last at bat, he drove the ball up the middle, and he's swinging the bat with confidence. And I think that's what the Braves know he can do. He can swing the bat.
Well, CSS brings the woo. We've got what fans love to cheer about when it comes to Southern college sports. Live games, dedicated shows with in-depth analysis, comprehensive coverage, and more. It's all right here on CSS, the face of college sports in the South. Braves up 5 runs and looking for more here. Sacks packed, 1 away. And Turdoslavich did not go around on the appeal over to first. Off the plate outside, the count moves full.
And this is an opportunity for Joey to just rear back and swing hard. Bases loaded, nowhere to put him. Got to be looking to be aggressive here.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Well, going back to Andrelton Simmons for a moment, had a chance to catch up with him earlier and ask him about his role as the leadoff hitter in 2013.
I wouldn't say different preparation, just maybe a different mindset when it comes to approach. A little bit. I don't have to be aggressive, so a little more patience, see a couple more pitches so I can let my teammates know how I saw the pitcher that first at bat or whatever.
One note on Simmons, by the way, for those wondering, has he ever been a leadoff man before? How has he done? He actually won. Hot shot to third. Boy, beautiful play. Couple of nice plays over there at third. Simmons actually won a batting title in the minor leagues as a leadoff man. So he's got some background there, some success in that role in the past. We head of the night, all Braves from Disney. Baseball on CSS has been brought to you by Mizuno, making superior sporting equipment honed through the finest craftsmanship, cutting-edge technology, and passion for the game since 1906. Mizuno, never settle. Those are beautiful trees. Normally we're used to seeing those baking in the sun. Instead, everybody has gone to the sweatshirts and the jackets here today as the Braves take a 6-1 lead into the ninth inning, and that was certainly a formula for success last year. You look at that number, winning percentage when leading after 8 innings of work in 2012. The Braves, the best in the National League, a 98.8%, 0.988 if you want to look at it that way. However you want to put that decimal, Brian. Either way, it's very good.
It is outstanding. 83-1.
Obviously, the bullpen, the big reason for that. Craig Kimbrell, Eric O'Flaherty, Johnny Venters, and so on and so forth. Okay, another guy that really was big in the bullpen last year, kind of came out of nowhere. They brought him up from Double-A. That's Avalon.
That's right.
He was a real surprise. A July 4th call-up. The new pitcher, by the way, for Atlanta. Let's give it a shot. Number 79, Werfin Obispo. Let's call him Werfin.
All I know is he's throwing strikes. 0-2 count. Pretty nasty. He has a long arm and Ball comes out of his hands. Kind of funny as a hitter. I mean, you're looking at it and saying, wow, what is he throwing? Watch how he holds his arm back before he releases the ball.
Now getting the official pronunciation of number 79. It's Weirfine Obispo. That was my next guess. Weirfine Obispo. By the way, in our next broadcast on Tuesday against the Yankees, we'll get a look at Paul Mulholland. Another nice pickup by Frank Wren and company last year. Bouncer to second. Up and over. We're at number 1. Now, once again, we're not that far off from the opening week of the Major League Baseball season. It starts on Monday, April the 1st through the 7th for the Braves at Turner Field. You can catch matchups with the Phillies and the Chicago Cubs. And check out the all-new Georgia Lottery Friday Night Fireworks Show. That's Braves.com/tickets for more information, or call 1-800-745-3000. Attendance today, 9,223, but the numbers dwindling in the dugout. Isn't that right, Chris Domino?
Yeah, actually, it was a heck of a lot more crowded in the Braves dugout. The veterans are smart, especially on a day like today. You do your work, you get your hacks, then you head home. And I do think, guys, one of the things you were talking about with Simmons, talking to FREDI Gonzalez, he believes that him hitting leadoff with Jason Hayward and company behind him will give him an opportunity to see a heck of a lot more pitches than if he hit him 8th and moved B.J. Upton up. There's only 5 pure leadoff hitters in all of baseball. B.J. you can envision maybe being the next Ricky Henderson. But I think they think Simmons' maturity as a hitter comes with protection behind him more than dropping him down. He believes the pressure trade-off is absolutely beneficial to both Simmons and this baseball team.
That's an interesting point, and you know, obviously there's going to be a lot of pressure from the standpoint. You're talking about a young man that hasn't played a full league of Major League Baseball, but just based on the small sample size we saw last year, to hit 289, the defense nearly flawless. I mean, you've got a special player defensively at shortstop for years to come. I think he can do it, Brian. I think the Braves might have a gem there, not only defensively, but even offensively for years to come.
No doubt about it. He seems like one of those mature players. He's a Latin player. He's used to playing with a lot of Latin players over there, veterans who go over there and play during the off season. To me, he's more seasoned. And as far as pressure, he sees no pressure. He goes out there, he plays hard, and I think the Braves know that. FREDI knows that, and that's why I think he'll be a great leadoff hitter.
Braves 1 strike away from victory. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's your ball game. Atlanta wins it 6-1 and improves to 4-6 here in spring training. Brian Jordan, some final thoughts.
You know what? Very impressed with Mike Minor. He got off to a great start. He looked like he had great command, and he looks comfortable. And the bats, you can't say enough about. Long ball, we love it. We'll see more of it this year.
And I got plenty of it today. Upton, Pasternicki, UGGLA, all going yard for the Braves. Don't forget, we'll see you next in a couple of days from Tampa when the Braves take on the Yankees. For Brian Jordan and Chris Domino working the dugout, this is Mike Morgan saying thank you for joining us. Braves defeat the Tigers 6-1, your final score. Now stay tuned for a college baseball encore right here on CSS. So long, everybody.